This gentleman, Blake Blam, has been going viral on TikTok the last couple days. He first posted on Christmas, and then he has since deleted the videos. So these are screen recordings off somebody else's account. We're going to watch this video, and then we'll talk about it.
This is what I wake up to on Christmas morning. On Christmas morning, by the way. Everything gone. Said she couldn't do no more. Took everything. Took the kid. Wiped out his whole closet. Like, yeah. And some of the stuff I bought for him, gone. They didn't take the TVs that I bought. Oh, I was asleep when they were taking everything. So left some of her stuff here. Like, yeah, this is all when I was asleep. Like, I don't even know what this is. Like, I don't know.
So the crazy thing about this video is, first of all, the way he addresses the kid, right? It's not his kid. He's not really claiming it here, but I will get into why I think that is later, and also why I think he's a bit of a bitch as well, beyond this situation. I mean, he has decided to make this video in what appears to be an attempt to shame her, which doesn't really make any sense because nobody who just wants to leave is going to take off Christmas Day, right? Like one of the days that's meant to be, cheerful and jolly and happy and all that kind of stuff. They're not going to just pack up and move while you're sleeping. And then on top of that, you weren't just sleeping, right? There's no way you slept through an entire move out. She very clearly cleaned out that place, and obviously in a hurry as well. But she obviously cleaned out that place, and you didn't hear people stomping around. You didn't hear people moving furniture. You didn't hear people packing boxes and all that kind of stuff, because she definitely didn't do it on her own. She's a very tiny little girl who just had a baby. There's no way she was carrying, furniture on her back by herself after having a child, right? So multiple people moving out and you are asleep. There's no way you were just asleep, right? There was probably some alcohol involved. And again, this is just speculation. I don't have any evidence of it, but I don't think I've ever slept through somebody moving furniture. The only real evidence that we have, and I say evidence very, very loosely, is this TikTok comment. And it says, "She wasn't alone. We took all the important stuff and got her out of there. It took almost 2 years to convince her to run, and it broke on Christmas Eve. When he got so drunk, he fought everyone he saw, including the kid. We had her gone in 30 minutes, but probably had hours if needed." And honestly, that's probably true. If he was drunk, then they probably did have hours. It fits the story, right? You're not sleeping through a move out. If you're drunk, sure. The only possible way that I could see myself ever possibly sleeping through a move out is if I was drunk the night before and then I had a hangover sleep. And we're going to get into his second video here shortly. But before that, I want to mention that people in comments on TikTok were saying that they've seen punch marks and that kind of stuff in the house, like in the apartment. One said above the baby's crib or something. And then I believe there was in the hallway or whatever, but I don't see any punch marks. I've watched this video probably a dozen times. I don't see punch marks. Punch marks is quite serious. And if there's no proof of that, I don't think we should even bother talking about it beyond the fact that, people are saying it and it just doesn't appear to be true.
So here's a part 2 of that video, right? That all of y'all hate me for saying I'm a piece of shit, all this, right? Saying I was abusive, maybe that's why she did it in the middle of the night. So I'm thinking it happened a few weeks ago. I was talking to someone. I didn't put on mute. I forgot I thought I did. I walked in here, and she was on the phone. She tried to swipe up real quick out of FaceTime, trying to hide it from me. I saw that. I was like, "Oh, who are you talking to?" Because I was generally curious because she was trying to hide it from me. And she's like, "Oh, just an old friend." I'm like, okay. I was like, "Okay, what are y'all talking about?" This guy named Jim from a long time ago. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay. I tried to walk out. She thought I was mad. Tried to stop me. I was like, "Hey, it's fine. I'm going to go back to whatever I was doing. You do what you're doing." And later that night, I discovered a picture that her mom sent her. Her mom sent her of my face and another man's face next to Braxton, my kid. And that upset me because there was a possibility when we first got back together, because we were separated, got back together, that it wasn't be mine. I told her I'm not taking.
So remember when I was talking about him being a bitch? Here's Exhibit A. If you knew there was a possibility that this child was not going to be yours, why are you going back? I don't care if you're a man or a woman, but if you separate for any period of time and the other person goes and sleeps with somebody else, let them be.
A DNA test. I want to act like he's mine. I want to be the father of that kid, no matter what. Just always wanted kids. I love kids. Everything. I love him. He's so cute. And I told her. I woke her up and said, "Hey, if your mom keeps on doing this, I'm gonna have a problem with your mom, because I don't like how she's trying to see whose baby it is after I told you."
So, and obviously this is a toxic situation too. He was very clearly going through her phone while she was asleep. It's one thing if you're like, hey, I want to see your phone. You know, I think you're doing something. Let me look. She's awake. Whatever, right? It's something you guys can talk about. But she was very, very clearly sleeping because he saw something on her phone, woke her up, right? Like, what are you going through her phone while she's asleep for, right? If you have these issues, you need to face them like a man and go just straight to her and be like, hey, I want to see this. Let me take a look. And if she has nothing to hide, then obviously she has nothing to hide, and she'll have no problem showing you the phone while both of you guys are awake. And again, vice versa. If somebody wants to go through my phone, then they're more than welcome to as well. Because again, I have nothing to hide, but I would be pissed if somebody went through my phone while I'm passed out. That's crazy.
I want to be the father of this child, no matter what. That's why I signed my name on that birth certificate. And about
The other thing about him being like wanting to be a father, regardless of if this child is his or not, again, this is just speculation, but chances are every time they fight, he's going to bring this up. He's going to be like, well, you slept with so and so, you did this. What if he's not my son? This and that, right? He's going to bring it up every single time there's an issue because there's going to be resentment. There's no point. Like, you're wasting both of your guys' time trying to make this work, right? And obviously it didn't work. And she escaped from you.
2 days goes by and she says, "Oh, I can't do this no more. You're not helping." I was like, "How?" I work a long shift. I don't get home until about 11 hours or 12 hours after I leave the house in the morning. So I do the 6 o'clock feeding, go to work. I have to be there around 8 to 9. I have to leave the house by around 8 o'clock to get there around 9. And I don't get home about till 8, 8:30, almost 9. So I'll go home and do the 9 o'clock feeding. If I'm still up, because I have to be up so early at 6, I go to sleep around 12. And some days she does work. And yes, she does do the 12 and 3. So there's some nights, some days she works. She doesn't work for very long, like 6 hours maybe at the most. And there's some nights she does work as long as I do. And
this is another thing I don't really understand, is why people downplay the amount of work somebody's doing. Like, sure, you may work longer, but what else is she doing in the meantime, right? Taking care of the kid, doing the stuff around the house, picking up after you, all of this other stuff. Like, just because you work 12 hours one day doesn't mean you just get to be off free when you get home. There is no break when you're being a parent. And yeah, working a potentially laborious job is hard work, right? I go to work for 10 hours. It's hard. It's terrible. I don't also want to go home and do things afterwards, but guess what? I have responsibilities. And with a child, it's the same thing. It's worse because these responsibilities can't all just land on one person, right? Man or woman, regardless. And she's working as well, but both of you have responsibilities.
that's when I try my hardest to do the 12 o'clock shift, so she can go to sleep and do the 3 o'clock. I wake up and do the 6. But she doesn't fall asleep. I'll be up at 1 or 2 o'clock and she'll still be awake. And then be mad at me, say she's not getting enough sleep. I told her, and then she got mad at me. She's sleeping on the couch because the baby's in there. I was like, you don't have to sleep on the couch. You can come sleep with me. We have a camera. You can watch them on the camera. And we got that settled down. We went back to our old business. 2 weeks later, between the 2 weeks, I took him out for a weekend. I went to my family in Oklahoma and let her have like a day off, like a weekend off. Left on Friday night, didn't come back until Sunday morning or Saturday night. Gives her Saturday off. She didn't work all day. I don't think she worked all day. It's been a couple weeks. She stayed up until 5 o'clock the next morning with her friend and had to go to work at 10. I came back home around, probably around home around 8 o'clock to do the 9 o'clock feeding. She got mad at me saying, I didn't get no sleep. I told you have a night off. I didn't think you're going to stay up until 5 o'clock with your friend running around North Texas until 5 o'clock in the morning. That's when she got home, about 5:10, 5:30. And I was paying all her bills. Yes, he was premature. All seen that, blowing me up on that. He was premature, and I didn't like that she was going to her mom's house with the baby.
Okay, so it doesn't matter if you're paying all the bills or not. You still have responsibilities at home. It doesn't make a difference. Do I believe that, yeah, maybe she should probably pick up a little bit extra if you're covering 100% of everything? Yeah, sure. But at the same time, that doesn't absolve you of all of the other parental responsibilities. That doesn't mean she doesn't deserve a break and time away and, the ability to go out with her friends and do things as well, right? If she's being a mother 24/7, right? Of course she's going to be pissed off and upset with you. Of course, right? Paying all the bills doesn't absolve you of the responsibilities.
Because they live in a RV with no running water and electricity off a generator in an untreated field. If that kid gets a tick off the dog running around that field, an untreated field, and gets the tick on Braxton or my kid, he can get asthma. That's really bad for him at a young age since he's premature.
I think ticks are really not great regardless of how old you are, right? I don't think it matters if you're a young age or not. And even, if he's premature versus just being a baby, I don't think it's an ideal situation regardless. And if it's an unsafe environment at her parents' place, then I do also understand the concern on his part.
His immune system is not all the way there yet. Not even close to what a newborn baby that had full term is. So that's one problem I have. I think that's where Braxton's stand. I finally got an update after a day and a half. She wouldn't let me see him, wouldn't let me know where he's at. I did nothing to that child. That child was safe with me. She wouldn't like my parents to watch him. When my mom is a respiratory therapist, specializes in breathing.
So regardless of if your mom is a respiratory therapist or not, a brand new mother is going to have trust issues, right? She's going to be worried about things. Of course, she's not going to want to just drop the baby off at your parents' place. It doesn't make a difference. That's not going to calm anxiety.
The heart, the lungs, she specializes in that. And y'all hating on everybody for this, hating on me for this is outrageous. I did the best for that child. I paid for all her bills. We just got this new apartment. She hasn't paid a lick of this apartment. The electricity was $78.
Ooh.
We've been living here about 2.5 months. She never had to pay a dime until she was going to pay this month. But she left 5 days before it was due and won't pay me nothing. She is on the lease. I paid for her car. I paid for her insurance, her phone, all her bills for the past 2 months, giving her over $1,100. Still taking care of the baby. And one morning, y'all saw, Christmas morning, I woke up and she was gone. And yes, y'all are wondering how I was asleep. I am a deep sleeper. I have no clue how to fix it. I tried loud alarms. I tried cell phone alarms. I tried sleeping for 12 hours. I'm still a deep sleeper. It takes a lot to wake me up. You pretty much have to kick me off this bed to wake me up.
So he's a deep sleeper, right? Except he wakes up for morning feeds and nighttime feeds, and he somehow gets up for work. But in this one very, very specific situation, without alcohol, without anything, nothing preventing him from waking up, this one situation, he just happens to be the deepest sleeper. So he's not in trouble at work. He is waking up perfectly every time to feed this baby, etc. But all of a sudden, deepest sleeper.
This is part 2. If y'all want another one of the update that's happening today, because there's a lot more stuff that happened today, that's some big changes, but I can't say it right now. But yeah, this is part 2.
So there you go. As he said, it was part two, and there was supposed to be updates posted, but there haven't been updates posted. Mostly just him complaining about how people are talking about how he posts his truck more than anything else, and there's no actual updates. And I'm not sure what the difference between this video and what an updated video would be if he can't talk about it. But if he was as good of a man as he says he was, then he would have no issues finding someone else, someone who's prettier, smarter, funnier, kinder, somebody who wants to have his biological children, right? He would have no issues, except he's hung up on this one and he's trying to play the victim. It's disgusting, it's gross, and for some reason, I think he's probably not as great of a guy as he thinks he is.